Hello folks, this is the second video of researching your West Virginia coal town. In our first video we reviewed the kindness of strangers, how to use a map or not to use a map, and GPS, etc., etc. Now I'm assuming that you've just got the itch to go and visit your town, so you're going to drive there. That's great. So we're looking at the map and you look, I'll use myself as an example. Okay, I'm in just outside of D.C., right, Washington, D.C., and I want to drive to Coal Town in, let's say, McDowell County, West Virginia. And I've got my bottled water or whatever. I want to drink with me some coffee, stop on the way, gas up the car. I'm driving there. And let's say, just for the sake of supposition, that your journey is going to be 315 miles. Make it 330. Little fun. So you make the tragic error of relying on MapQuest, and MapQuest says why it's only going to take you 5 hours and so many minutes to get there because it's only 300 and some odd miles. That is a tragic error. That is a biblical level mistake that you do not ever want to make when researching a West Virginia coal town, and here is why. Miles between towns, you don't mark in minutes as far as how fast you can go. You keep aware of the terrain you're driving on. And these are winding mountain roads. Now, I'm not complaining or picking on West Virginia roads. I'm making you, the person who's researching their West Virginia coal town and may not have been to West Virginia in a long time or ever, that driving between towns in West Virginia is a lot more difficult than the maps want to make you think. So you're not going to get from, let's say, Welch, West Virginia to, Jenkins Jones, West Virginia in just 35 short minutes. No, that's just not going to happen. And the town names I'm using, Welch, of course, and Jenkins Jones, these are just town names I'm using as examples. I'm not picking on a town, or I'm not saying one town's better or worse than the other. What I'm saying is that on your journey and on your, drive, be aware that you're going to be going across some rather windy roads. That means you don't buck a corner as fast as you possibly can, because that means you could be sucking face with a 80-ton vehicle hauling logs or coal, and generally getting an engine block in the lap and being buried in a jelly jar is a lot less pleasant than one would think it is. So, just a word of caution. Your journey should be dictated by the terrain, and to be aware of, hey, wow, you've got a lot of windy roads here. That sounds basic, but I've met a lot of people who just don't understand that. Oh, man, it's only 10 miles. Shouldn't take more than 10 or 15 minutes to get to that town. Wrong. Very wrong. Don't do that. Wrong. Be careful when you're researching your towns, when you're driving between the towns, and consider the terrain you're driving on. That was just my little travel trip. Make sure that you know that you're dealing with a lot more difficult terrain if you're not used to winding mountain roads. I've dealt with a lot of people, who call or ask, hey, have you heard of this town? And I help out. You can email me. And they make that mistake. Oh, just a half hour? No, it's not going to be half an hour. Just keep that in mind. And on your journey, you're also, as I said before, strangers or people you've never met before, and you're asking them for directions, or if they've ever heard of a place. Thank you is a nice word, and you should use it a lot. Not to sound like you're, thank you so much, but you should say thank you just for, taking our time or discussing the place. And really, you're going to find out right away one of the myths I talked about coal towns and coal mining and coal miners, about this similar living conditions in all coal mining towns. That's a total falsehood, and you're going to find that out real fast and quick. So again, talking to people, being aware of your terrain, and being aware that the roads you're on are not going to be straight or really quick to go on. So just be careful. That also gets me into the trip planning segment. Let's say that it's been raining a lot. Go slower. That sounds silly, but I've seen a lot of wrecks and cars with folks who just, or if it's snowing, I wouldn't go. It's just not worth risking your life. It just isn't. And some of the roads that you may be driving on, depending on where your coal town is, again, not picking on West Virginia, I'm just taking into account rain-slicked roads, roads that could ice up because you're up in the mountains. You're going to be getting cooler weather. Just things to keep in mind to keep your journey pleasant. The next video I'd like to do will be about the people you're going to meet and starting to debunk a lot of the myths propagated in the media, and also by people who like to talk about West Virginia who've probably never ever been there. Remember again that most people, when they talk about coal towns in West Virginia, have seen them, their experience is seeing them in their rear view mirror as they drive away because they're lost. It isn't because they want to be there. And that really has led to a lot of folks just to say, who'd want to live there or who'd want to be there? And they really have yet to understand the kind of history and heritage they're looking at. That's in part 3. So again, drive carefully and enjoy yourself out there. Bye now.